Go ahead.
Guruji, this Anadi means you told Aja, which is not born also. So Atma and Brahm is also not born. So Atma or Brahm can we say as Anadi?
Okay. So here is the question. Question is, I referred to avidya as aja, and now aja, the word ajaha is only referred to Atma and Brahma. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha. So it is referring to Atma or Brahma. So can you now say, as Yogiji is turning it around and asking, okay, since you use the word aja for this avidya which is anadi, can I say this Atma is anadi and Brahman is anadi? He's asking. You can say that. You can say, because otherwise what will you say? It is adi. But Brahman cannot be adi. Therefore Brahman has to be anadi. By elimination, Brahman is anadi. And by elimination, Atma also is anadi only. There is no need to say that, because the problem, our problem is all the things that are causing problems to us, and we are looking for nityam, and so nityam has to be anadi, it has to be anantam also. But avidya is not anadi and anantam. Avidya is anadi, but what? But it is antavat. Very interesting. Atma is anadi and anantam. Brahma is anadi and anantam. But avidya is a very, very unique thing. And it is anadi, all right, but it is antavat. It will have an end. What about jiva? What about jiva? Now Yogiji can answer the question. What about jiva?
Jiva is also like Avidya.
Jiva is also like avidya. Therefore, jiva is anadi, but
Anadi, but
antavat.
Antavat.
Antavat. Jiva will have an end. When will it have an end? When I know myself, then jivatvam will be gone after videha mukti. Jiva is still there. But the minute I know, I won't be disappearing. Otherwise, it's a problem. The guy came to know and suddenly he disappeared, right? He became a jnani and he disappeared. It's not like that, not possible. Disappearance is not in the hands of a jnani. Disappearance is in the hands of this prarabdha karma. Disappearance of the body, what I mean is. Anyway, so then after that videha mukti, after the sharinam has exhausted its period, then at that point, jivatvam is gone. Jiva is atma. Atma remains, but jivatvam is gone. No longer jiva. No more form called jiva. No more rupa called jiva. That jiva is gone. And so, correct. Thank you, Yogi ji.
Marji, can you dwell a little bit on
Dhanvat.
Jiva and Anadi being the same?
Yeah,
Avidya.
jiva and anadi. And avidya. Jiva and avidya. Jiva is a product of avidya.
Okay, yeah, product of Avidya. Yeah,
And avidya is karanam. Jiva is karyam.
yeah, okay. That explains.
So whenever karanam is there, karyam will also be there. Therefore, if karanam is anadi, karyam also is anadi. Therefore, jiva also is anadi.
Yeah.
That's all reasoning. It's very simple. Yeah. Yeah. Arun and Sukanya, go ahead.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Guruji, more and more we hear it seems to always come down to, for a seeker, it always seems to come down to this attitude of neti neti now. So what I'm now understanding is, for a seeker, it's always, for you to start seeking, you need to have this attitude, first bring this attitude of neti neti. So it's like your entire duration of your seeking process, you need to just keep peeling away like an onion with the attitude of saying neti neti. Is that a right way of thinking? When you bring thinking as a process.
Yeah, so what is that neti? What is the meaning of that neti? Okay.
Not this.
Not that this neti, not that neti.
Yeah, not this. Yeah.
Not that neti. Okay, that
Yeah.
neti is they come up with a new this thing, It's very interesting. Now in the US I used to use it's a bottle. It's a bottle. They have to make it simple for people. Don't give me all these things which will break and all that. America means direct, simple, practical. That is how it is. That's why I love America. They just have a bottle where you can put it against your nostril and then squeeze. That's it, over. What tilting and all that. If it causes problem, if he falls down, there will be a lawsuit. So I don't want to deal with lawsuits. America is a different country. Anyway, that neti we are not talking about. Na iti. What is the meaning of the na there? Na is, it is not satyam. It's not satyam. You think it is satyam. I think it is all satyam. Everything is real. And beyond that reality, I don't know any other reality. Everything is absolutely real. But our definition of absolute reality is trikalepi tishtati iti satyam. That which is there in all three periods of time, that only qualifies to be called satyam. Therefore, in my relationship and in my transactions and in my day-to-day life, so-called life, I can keep that in mind. Yes, what you said is right. I can keep it in mind that I am dealing with a temporary thing. I am dealing with a thing that is mithya. It is sacred. Mithya also is sacred. Mithya is not to be put down, or mithya is not to be discarded or things like that. No, without mithya body needs mithya food. And mithya food you have to pay a lot of attention because nutrition is important. So, mithya is useful. Mithya is to be paid attention to. In fact, the only thing you can pay attention to is mithya. And so, but as what? As na iti, as mithya iti. Then it is going to become clear after some time. Everything is mithya. Then what about me? That's it. Then the Shastra will tell the answer. So yes, your final answer to your question is yes. That attitude I must inculcate. What about all the devatas then? Are they mithya or what? Neti? Ooh, no, you're getting. I should not have said this. I wish I should have kept my mouth shut. Sometimes I put myself into trouble and I get into trouble. Shastram says yes, Devata also is mithya. Let me put it that way. Let me blame Shastram. Because Devata has a form, has a function, has a particular Varuna Devata means you don't. Varuna Devata is only related to water. Varuna Devata is not Agni Devata. Agni Devata is not Vayu Devata. Vayu Devata is not Jataragni. Jataragni Devata is there in the stomach. And so all these Devatas are different. When you say different, it means Nama Rupa is there, which means it is Mithya only. Devatas are also Mithya. But I can be devoted to Devatas. They can help me. They are the ones who help me in this growth process. Therefore, I will continue to seek their blessings. Only a mithya devata can give me blessings which is mithya for this body mind which is mithya, so that neti karke I will know who I am.
You need the assistance.
Yeah, correct. That is why Shankara says, na gurur naiva shishya. Guru is important. Without Guru, this will not happen. Okay, this is we can take it for granted. But guess what? Is Guru Satyam or Mithya? If somebody asks, you must confidently say. You should not say, oh, Guru is Mithya. I think otherwise, what kind of papam I am going to get by saying Guru is Mithya and all. You don't have to say all those things. Guru is Mithya. Shishyatvam is also Mithya. That is a status. And that status, only Anatma can have a status. Atma cannot have a status.
Guruji, the funny part here is after at least every week it becomes more and more clearer in terms of some of the things what we must not do, what we should focus or follow. But then we just seems to go back to the reality, or not the reality. We just go back to the so-called reality of life, and then again get disturbed. Again, you come back and start asking questions, but again you go back. So it's unexplainable, saying that you realize what is right, what is wrong, but then you go back and follow the wrong. What happens really to a seeker? If I'm assuming everyone goes, or I'm not even able to explain the question. Actually, you just go back again and again and again. Even after it becomes more and more clearer, you still do the things that you are not supposed to do.
Some time ago, long ago, I was helping a smoker quit smoking. I don't know if you all don't know, then how difficult it is to quit smoking or alcohol, any addiction for that matter. And he used to take all this nicotine, what do you call that? Not patch, but the chewing gum and all these things were there. And I had bought all these things. And it used to work, then go back. It used to work, then go back. Again smoking. And finally the person succeeded. He came out of it. But it seems to be like that. This so-called Atmavidya also, this turnaround seems to be like that. But nothing wrong. Therefore, anything is going to be like this. Doctor says cut out salt. Cut out salt. What did you say just now? Cut out salt. How do you cut out salt? Just like that? Physically, I know how to cut out salt, but living without having salt, is that what you're asking? Yeah, I think so. You have no choice. Your BP is going out of range. Even the machine is not able to measure your BP. And the mercury goes up and then it gets stuck. And so, he has some work to do. But then, Shastram knows all this. And that's why Karma Yoga Buddhi is there. The entire Bhagavad Gita is Karma Yoga only. Some Jnana Yoga is there here and there. It's all Karma Yoga to answer your question only. Do what you have to do. That's why finally Arjuna, you know what he says? He says, Nashto mohaha smritir labdha. Nashto mohaha, my delusion, my confusion about all these things is gone. All which things? Even this adharma, dharma confusion also is gone. Now I know what I should do. I must go to war. He doesn't say, now I'm done. Now it's time for me to meditate, and so I'm going to go somewhere and meditate. No, he doesn't say that. He is ready for war. That means what? After this jnanam, what happens to us? We become ready to do what we have always been doing. Bit strange it is. It is a bit strange. But that's what Arjuna is demonstrating. That I am now leading my life with a different vision altogether. Completely different vision. So you don't drop off things and walk away. There is that walking away also. That's called sannyasa. That is there. That walking away is there. But only after discharging all duties. If there are duties, then nobody will give sannyasa to this person. In our tradition especially, I have seen all these things. And even now, Ashavidya Gurukulam, sannyasas are given every Shivaratri, they will give sannyasa. But not to somebody who has duties to discharge. Towards children, towards parents, all these things they watch for. They will not simply just give. So therefore, that walking out is there. But leave the sannyasa aside. We are talking about antara sannyasa, not bahya sannyasa, antara sannyasa. Then that prasada buddhi and ishwararpana buddhi, that is karma yoga. Karma, constantly Krishna will talk about it. And so that what you said, neti neti iti, if I can in a fit of situation, if I can tell myself neti, that means I have enough leisure in myself, enough leisure is there, that I can, anger is seizing me, okay? I can say neti and then I can shout. And slowly I'll say neti neti, shout. Then slowly neti neti neti, shout. Then slowly neti neti, shout. Then neti neti. Shouting is of no use, really speaking. Shouting has not accomplished anything for anybody, any part of the world. So neti neti, silence. So that is how we have to improve ourselves. Correct. That is why it is on the surface, the jnanam is easy. Knowledge is easy. It's not difficult at all. Really speaking. That's what Swami Viditanandaji told me. Once I met him first, he talked to me and said, no, this is all very easy for you, like that he said. And I'm wondering, what is he talking about? Well, he's talking about jnanam is pretty easy actually. But it's all the other things, because this question about we come back to it again, we come back to it again, we come back. In the class, everything looks good. Outside class, that is fine. That is fine. That is how it starts. Things are not going to be instantaneous. But the transformation occurs. Slowly it occurs. Slowly. The proof is every acharya that you see, they are the proof, living proof for us. If they are what they are, if we worship them, if we praise them, if they are our role model, then don't think they were just dropped by God just like that, and then they're all jnanis and they're all... No, not like that. Nobody was dropped like that. It is not possible at all. Everybody has worked through their own issues and their own confusions. Like Arjuna had to work through. Therefore, nothing is lost. And so that is nothing wrong. Therefore, that question is relevant because, yes, if it comes back, let it come back. Uddared atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet. That's why Krishna is saying, you will condemn yourself. Even after studying all these things, I am still going back to the same mold. Natmanam avasadayet. Don't condemn yourself, because this condemnation will come. We will hit ourselves. And he says, don't hit yourself like that. Like a mother, he is telling us these kinds of things. Okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Guruji,
Thank you.
neti, can we take neti as that which does not exist?
Alright. So Anita ji is asking a question. Can you take neti as that which does not exist? Now, that which does not exist, you don't have to say neti at all. Suppose I say, my horns don't exist. My horns don't exist. What is the use of saying this? It's true. My horns don't exist. I also know, you also know, everybody knows it. In fact, if I suddenly put some horns like this, some rubber thing I put on top, people will say, what happened to you? They will say. Why? Because they know neti iti. How did it become asti iti? From now, how it became asti, they will ask. So, neti, what does not exist, you don't gain anything by saying neti. What do you gain by saying neti? There is no elephant in this house. I have to say it because elephants are there in Coimbatore. And so in this complex in Vadavalli, there is no elephant right now. If I say, that neti is important, useful neti. Because the possibility of asti is there. The possibility of an elephant walking into this area is possible. It's possible. It does come in the mountains and all, in the roads it comes. We have to just stop and watch them. And so, where the possibility of existence is there, that neti is useful. You have to say, there is no elephant. Please, now it is safe to go. Go. Neti. That neti is different, because the asti, you are saying it is asti sometimes, it is nasti sometimes. But something that is totally non-existence, There is no use of saying nasti or neti. Okay. Circular square. Does it exist or not? Circular square. Let me repeat. In case there is a doubt, let me repeat it once again. Circular square. Let me go close to the mic and say circular square. Does it exist or not? Doesn't exist. Circle exists. Square exists. But circular square only exists in language. In English, I just made a word called circular square. That phrase alone exists. But really, there is no object called circular square. So like this, we have all these non-existent entities which the Shastram uses examples. So the neti is not talking about these kinds of netis. It is not talking about circular square neti, not that. Nasti, no, it's not talking about that. It is saying every object is not what you think it is. Means what? It is not as real as you think it is. I think it is, its reality is what? Absolute. Absolute. In fact, without it I can't survive. Without these people I can't survive. My whole survival depends on so many things. Things, people, situation. And so that has become my idea. My idea is reality is body. For this body and mind, for this body to survive, I need all these things. For this brain to be sane, for this mind to be sane, I need all these people and things to be in a particular way and all that. This is my understanding. Shastram is saying neti. Okay, take care of yourself, take care of your mind, all that you have to do, but that is not the ultimate. That is not the absolute real. You are not what you think you are. Neti. Na iti. So that is where we have to apply this neti.
And mithya is illusion?
Okay, so next question you're asking, is mithya delusion, correct?
Illusion or, okay, delusion.
Is that your question?
Yeah.
The word mithya, is it delusion? That is a good question. Mithya is often translated as delusion.
Mm.
Do we have an example of mithya? Yeah, we have an example of mithya. Is pot satyam or mithya?
Satyam.
Pot is satyam. What about clay?
Okay, we can't see it, so it is mithya.
So what we, in this example, what we say is
Absolute Satyam.
clay is what exists. Clay has existed before, it exists now, and it's going to exist later after the pot is gone also. Pot was just born recently. 4 years ago I purchased. There are people, pot makers here. They make it. One came up just outside the house right here. Yesterday I was watching. They are making pots and pans. They are making right outside. That means there is a demand for it. I am amazed. Let there be a demand for this clay object. I am happy about it. So now this has a date of birth. This pot has a date of birth. And this pot is going to have a date of death also. Death certificate has to be given to this pot. But for clay, there is no date of birth. And there will not be a death for the clay also. In this example, just relatively speaking. And therefore what we say is, clay is satyam because it always exists. But pot, you can't say pot always exists. In fact, pot has a date of birth, shows that it did not always exist. And therefore pot is what? Pot's existence depends on clay. Anything whose existence depends on something else is called mithya.
Can you repeat it again, Guruji?
Anything whose existence depends on something else.
something
Like
else.
the existence of pot depends on the existence of clay.
Clay.
Clay donated its existence to pot. And pot is saying, I am so and so, this, that, and all. But if clay walks away, pot has nothing, no existence at all. Then what is pot then? Pot is Nama Rupa. Very important phrase for us. It is just a name. POT is just a name, and which you have given to a particular form of clay. Particular form of clay. If the clay was a different shape, you will say it is ball. If your clay is a different shape, you will say saucepan. If your clay is a different shape, you will say ladle or spoon. Like that you will say. Same clay, but different forms have different names. That is all it is. A pot is only name and form. Really, there is no object called pot. Independent of clay, there is no object called pot. Therefore, we use the word mithya for such things, which basically means everything is in the world is mithya. Therefore, if you're back to your question, is mithya delusion? I will ask you, is pot delusion?
It exists as long as it exists.
It exists as long as it exists. Not only that, I use the pot very much in my life. It is useful. Day in, day out, I use it. Whether to drink coffee or whatever you put in the pot, cold water, they put water in the pot those days, they used to. So, pot is very much there. If pot is a delusion, then water. Water is also delusion. Then who am I? I am delusion, drinking delusion water from deluded pot. No, you can't say mithya is delusion. Mithya is a word that refers to the reality of the existence of an object. Write this down. Mithya is a word that expresses the reality of the existence of an object. It's a reality word. Like true, existing, non-existing, appearing, all these are what? Real existence words, right? Words that express the reality of things, reality of existence. And so, mithya also comes in that same category, and that is that dependently existing things are called mithya. It is not delusion at all. If it is delusion, then who is deluded? Really speaking, delusion is here. I am the one who is deluded. Why? Because if I take this mithya as satyam, what is satyam then? Satyam is that whose existence does not depend on anything else. This is how our thinking process, Anita ji. This is our thinking process, and that's how whole Vedanta becomes very meaningful for us. And so when
Guruji, this
when you were
same.
we talked about all these things when you were unable to come to class, but that is the idea. Mithya is that it's not delusion. It means dependently existing object. It's called mithya. Then what is satyam? Independently existing object is called satyam. Show me that independently existing object. There is no need to show it. I am that independently existing thing. Upadi tritayad anyam atmanam avadharayet. Pot is an upadhi. Anything in this world is an upadhi. My people are upadhis. Even I am an upadhi only. My body, so called, is an upadhi only. Then who am I? Fundamentally, who is Atma? Upadhi tritayad anyat. Mithyayaha anyat. I am that Satyam Atma, like that. Avadharayet. May you understand. Like that. Bhashikara is saying.
Guruji, for the like mithya, once you have told the 5 attributes of jada, so all that 5 attributes of jada, that is applicable to mithya also? Is it like that?
Correct. Mithya is jadam. That also you should add. Mithya is jadam.
Atma, Paino, etc. Everything.
Only Atma is Chaitanyam. Therefore, Anatma is jadam. But the body looks conscious. What about that? Hey, body looks conscious means it is borrowed the consciousness from Atma. And that's why it is appearing to be conscious. If body were fundamentally conscious, body will start talking to me. What is this? You are not taking care of me. You see how overweight I am. Is this the way you should eat? Stop eating all these things. Body will argue with me, correct? If body were not jadam, chaitanyam. No, body is not chaitanyam, body is jadam.
So all the 5 attributes of Jadam, Panchabhautika, Drishyatvam, Sadvikara, Sagunutvam, Agma, Payatvam. So we can refer for Mithya also.
It applies. All the things you said applies to mithya. Therefore, mithya is same as anatma. Anatma is same as jadam. Jadavastu. All these things are identical. Different context, different words. Mithya is emphasizing reality, existence of the object. Jadam is referring to the consciousness of the object. Anatma is emphasizing that it is not Atma. It is referring to Atma. And it's saying that is not Atma. Emphasis is different. Yeah. Yeah, Swapna, go ahead.
Okay, Guruji. When you said Anyam Param Vilakshanam, so Atmanam is Anyam Param Vilakshanam? Is it?
So,
Is this the definition for Atma here?
so Anyam, the Param and Vilakshanam are used. Let's do Vilakshanam first. Padmapada is using the word Vilakshanam. Vilakshanam means what? Other than. To describe or to explain the word Anyam. Anyam also means other than. Vilakshanam means what? Differently characterized. Lakshanam is characterized. Vilakshanam, differently characterized. It is of a completely different nature altogether. That is the meaning of the literal meaning of the word Vilakshanam. We will say Atma is Karya Karana Vilakshanam. It is other than cause and effect. It is neither a cause of something nor it is a product of something. That is the word Vilakshanam there, which Padmapada uses for the word Anyam, to explain the word Anyam. Now let's look at the word Param. Param is an interesting word. Param means Anyam, but Param also means limitless, hinting that it is Anyam means it is not limited like the bodies, like the 3 bodies. It is Param Vilakshanam. It is limitless. It is of a different nature, and that is limitlessness. Indirectly indicating Atma is limitless. That is the meaning of Param and Vilakshanam, which Padmapada uses to explain the word Anyam.
So these are synonyms for Anyam.
These are elaborations of the word Anyam. Elaborations. In the current context, these are to be used to understand the word Anyam. Anyam means other than. You can just translate Anyam as other and walk away from there. He is saying don't walk away, understand it better also. Understand Vilakshanam, it is of a different nature altogether. It is Satyam. All along we are talking about Mithya. This one is Satyam, therefore Vilakshanam. Satyam is totally different from Mithya. All that he is indicating by these words. Every object is finite. This thing is infinite. How can one finite be compared to infinite? There is no comparison at all. Therefore, param. Cha avadharayet neti neti iti vakyena atmanam upadi vinirmuktam kritva nishkalam nishkriyam shantam anantam Sachidanandam param brahma etadeva ahamasmi iti nirdharya ityartha. Like, abba, big explanation is giving. This is what we talked about also. You want me to explain
This
that?
is who is
This is PNP Menon. PNP Menon.
Oh, Menon.
Padmapada is more cryptic. Padmapada is just one or two words he will say. But PNP Menon takes Padmapada and takes it somewhere else. For people like us, it is helpful.
So you said this as a tika? No.
Yeah, this is a tika. This is tika. Correct. I'll send it to you if you want. It says book is published 1942. P.N. Menon, B.A.B.L., Editor-in-Chief, Indian Classics, Palghat, Malabar. Malabar was a place in India, by the way. Yeah. So, he is the one who is saying, Neti neti iti vakyena avadharayet. He is explaining. Avadharayet, may you understand. May you ascertain this fact for good. What fact? How do I do it? Neti neti iti. Arun asked the question, neti neti. So, neti neti iti vakyena. Keeping that sentence in mind, understanding clearly what neti and neti is. Atmanam upadi vinirmuktam kritva. Hey, what is the purpose of the word neti? Hey, there is something called upadi, and atmanam upadi vinirmuktam kritva. Freeing atma from its upadis, the shariratraya upadi. Then what happens? What will remain is nishkalam, nishkriyam. Nishkalam means partless. Kala is part. So nishkalam is partless. The partless atma. That is why we can't point to Atma, because it is Nishkalam. Nishkriyam. No action is attributed to Atma. Atma cannot take any action. It's not an object of action. It is not a subject of action also. That is the meaning of Nishkriyam. Okay, then what? Shantam, Anantam, Sachidanandam, Param, Brahma. It went off all the way from Atma to Brahma is gone. Brahma, etadeva ahamasmi. That Brahma ahamasmi iti avadharayet. Go all the way. He is taking us all the way. From Atma to Brahma. Jiveshwar Aikyam onwards he is gone. Okay.
Guruji, where we can purchase this Menonji book?
I will send it to you. I'll send the PDF to all of you. So remind me, and we'll put it in the WhatsApp group.
Who was Menonji's guru?
Huh?
Who was Menonji's guru?
Who was Menonji's guru? It's a very good question.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah, I wish there is a preface here, and it must be there. I'll look it up. Yeah. I may not have printed it. We'll find out.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
Thank you. Okay, Arun, you have a question?
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah.
Guruji, in the last class, there was a lot of subdivisions explained about Sukshma Shariram and all of that. As long as I keep it simple, which seems to be in my head saying the neti of trying to distinguish, saying something that has no start and no end. Right? That seems to get stuck in my head. Do I really need to dwell myself into understanding all the subdivisions of, for example, Sukshma Shariram? Do I really need to dwell into that? If my head is very simple and able to distinguish, I may be using the word wrong or right, but it's kind of now saying, oh, this is right, this is wrong. If I'm able to go with that subdivision, the simple idea, do I need to dwell into all these subdivisions?
Right. So I hope all of you heard that question. Arunji is saying there is a lot of jargon, there is a lot of technology here.
Yeah, simple person, simple
Do I
mind.
really have to get into all this? Already my workplace is demanding and the technology is rapidly changing. Now they are saying AI. And so I am forced to change my whole thought process, my career, this, that. Now do I have to do the same thing with this Atmabodha? That is his question. Atmabodha also seems to be, it has its own jargon, language and Panchabhuta, like this we are going on and on. The short answer is no. You don't have to study any of this. The short answer is no. A person who is ready, mature, and has sorted out all conflicts through dharma and adharma and knows what dharma is, adharma is, I will not touch adharma with a 10-foot pole. That kind of clarity is there. In actions, clarity is there. In life, clarity is there. And his life shows that kind of clarity. That person is ready. We say that person is an adhikari. Uttamadhikari, in fact, ready. Vairagya, Viveka is there. Yeah, if you told me, I understand Atma and Atma. Viveka is already there. Vairagyam is there. Vairagyam means dispassion, thinking, looking at things objectively. Never carried away by anything. If the person says, I am never carried away by anything, that person, when he listens to this Mahavakyam, he will get it and he will walk away also. Walk away. He will never even say thank you to the Guru. He doesn't have to. He knows it, that also. Neither is his Guru expecting a thank you also. Because Guru also is supposed to be a Mahatma. And therefore, nothing. He won't know. If you ask him, tell me what is Panchikaranam and all, he won't know. How did this universe get created from the Panchabhutas? He won't know. Tell me about Brahmaji's life. 100 Brahma years, how long it is? He won't know. He doesn't have to know also. Because the knowledge, my knowledge of myself is not dependent on knowing all those devatas and how they are living, how this Indraprastha, Indraloka, how it is and all. We don't have to know. That is the correct answer. We don't have to know. They are all extra detail. Then why are you giving me all this detail? When it is not needed. We are not Uttamadhikaris. We means in general a person who comes to the class is not an Uttamadhikari. We have to make that assumption. We can't take anything for granted. There is no meter, Viveka meter. I just plug it in and then it tells me the Viveka reading and Vairagya reading and all. It won't give. Nothing is there like that. There is an interest. Only the interest level shows how mature we are. Only how we are able to keep up with all this is all that shows. So therefore, now Neti, it is the job of the Shastram to show then what is the purpose of the body, then what is the body, I have taken myself to be the body, and so I have to define what the body is, and then I have to say you are not the body also. Then body also is not one block, it is gross, subtle, everything is there. Why did this body come about? Then I have to explain avidya. Then is it avidya, anadi, adi? Everything has to be explained. And that is how it just like a spaghetti, it just keeps on going back. But we are crystal clear. What we definitely need to know, what we need not know also is, we are clear about that. So that's how it works, Arunji.
Yeah, makes sense, Guruji. Thanks. So, Guruji, taking human birth is the best bet for you to get rid of your avidya in terms of you trying to understand the knowledge, right? So does it mean that in the past birth that you would have taken as an animal or whatever it is that fundamentally means that the level of avidya based on that particular janma is lot higher, and you are actually, as a human birth now, your level of avidya and your capability to get rid of that avidya is lot higher now, and this is your best bet. So make use of it. Is that how our janmas are structured?
So that's a good question. The thing about janmas is, if we start counting how many janmas we had, let's imagine we are beginning to count. So before, how did I have this birth? Because I had a previous birth. Okay, 1, 2, or 1, 2. Okay, then how did I get the previous birth? Because I had karma which caused that birth, and that came from, where did the karma come from? Previous birth only. So I have to point to the third one. Third points to fourth. Fourth points to fifth. This is an unending process. Therefore we say, anadi kalat pravrittaha. So this life has been, this jiva has been, is the ultimate survivor. And so it's been going on and on forever. And therefore, the amount of karma that you and I have is also infinite. That sanchita karma also is infinite. And therefore, we at any time, we can be born as any being. Virus, bacteria, amphibian, aquatic, terrestrial, bird, whatever word you have to describe living beings, we have the karma to be born as any of those living beings, because only that being will exhaust one particular time karma that I have. Therefore, I must be born only as that jiva in that kind of environment. Some loka also, they say lokas also. Therefore, not just this loka. This is all, we can only think of this loka, but other lokas are there. So, that being said, in what order this janmas, Shastram doesn't say. I can be born in any order. Next janma I can be a cockroach also. That order of janma, they don't talk about it all. They say there is no such thing as order. Why? Because all karmas are waiting. Somehow, in that sankalpa, there is this thing that comes. Punya karma visheshat, some punya karma has there that had to fructify, and that has given birth to this human birth. During the Upanayam time, that particular annual Upakarma time, that Mahasankalpa is there. There it comes. And so, some accidentally I was born, not accidentally, but due to some combination, Punya Karma combination, it has been born. Because next Janma, no guarantee what's going to happen. Therefore, what you said is correct. This Janma is the best bet, which Shankara already said in the Viveka Chodamani. He says, Durlabam Trayame Vaitat. Three things are difficult to get, it seems. Durlabam Trayame Vaitat. Deva Anugraha Hetukam. Hey, it is all a product of blessing of Ishvara, Bhagavan's Anugraha. Deva Anugraha Hetukam. What are those three? Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Samshrayaha, he says. These three, according to him, are the most difficult to get. First, Manusha Janma itself is difficult. Then within that Janma, to be a Mumukshu means there is something called Moksha, and something beyond Dharma, Artha and Kama, and I have to inquire into Moksha. I have to know, I want to Moksha. That desire itself is another rare thing, once even after getting a Manusya. And then Mahapurusha Samshrayaha. Then, because the Mahapurusha is required, Swamiji for us is required, because somebody who tells us all these things must be a Mahatma, and so Mahapurusha Samshrayaha. Connection with a Mahapurusha is also rare, like that he says. Therefore, what he said is right. This is the best bet. Human life is the best bet. And that is why they even say, this guy is leading an animal life, they say. Even after being born as a human, he is leading an animal life. Means what? Wasting away the life. We have that word in our language itself. Yeah.
So you get into this with grace of God, right? So that's at some point of time, based on your previous karmas as well as grace of God, you get into this situation. Like you explained, Guruji, three must-haves for you to get into moksha. So when you get into this grace, you realize that you are having that grace. But then why is the grace still making you attract towards mithya? Why are you still getting attracted to mithya even after you realize that you are actually having the grace of having this birth, along with that need of understanding something beyond what you are currently? So why is that still that, although there is that grace there, why are you still getting attracted? Even assuming the attraction is the grace, right? So that grace, why is it making you attracted towards mithya than actually making you attracted towards satya?
Right, right. So how come this grace doesn't work a little extra for me? And
Correct.
why does it not neutralize this attraction that is there, even after all this exposure and all these things? Look, it is no different than that example I gave you. Doctor said cut out the salt. Then why don't you just cut out the salt? I just can't. What do you mean I can't? Life or death. Okay, maybe this is not a great example, because life or death, the fellow may cut out salt because he loves life more than salt. Okay,
Correct.
somehow he may cut out salt, but somewhere else, nutrition is a better example, I think. You just all this carb and all they say, and all this rice based this that, don't have some protein, some roughage must be there, some other millet. Our Modi ji has made millet as a, what do you call it, year of the millet or something. He's not year of the millet. Yeah. So he has introduced millets. And so now we are all having some millets. We haven't replaced rice by millets. But somebody can say, no, it won't work out for me. Because nothing as tasty as rice, he will say. Why? Why he is saying it? Despite all evidence. Evidence is all staring at me. Now WhatsApp also evidence is coming. Without my this requesting, I'm getting this evidence. Still I can't. Why? Because that anadi kala pravrittaha, that habit is there in me, and to turn this habit around is not going to be easy. Even for God it is not easy. Why it is not easy for God? Because God is not different from me. If God were different from me, then He is an all-powerful guy and He can do some tamasha, and I can also do something. I can send in a separate application to Him, which even more tapas I can do, and He can be happy with me and He can give me that moksha right now. Unfortunately, or fortunately, God is not a separate entity. They are all devatas. Devatas are all separate entities, all right. But this grace also, suppose somebody asks you the question, Bhagavan's grace has given me this body. Who created that grace? On what basis Bhagavan will give me grace and Sapna some grace, and Meera is there, Narayanan is there, you are there, and how is he going to distribute grace between you and your wife, if I ask? What is the answer to that? On what? He must have a basis. If he doesn't have a basis, then he is not God for me. Then he is randomly distributing, I like your face, therefore here, good, take it, you have more grace. You are attending this class every day, therefore I will give you more place. Yes, last time you didn't attend, therefore I will punish you for it. This won't work. Then there is no difference between the local gunda head and God, mafia head, mafia don. That's why these people say they are all this Abrahamic God is a mafia. We are not saying God is mafia, but that is how they painted to be. You do this, otherwise you will get finished. Eternal hell doesn't exist. Hell might exist, but eternal hell doesn't exist. Anyway, so therefore, I hope you are getting the answer, correct?
Yep.
Therefore, that grace is there, yes. Pumsam, Ishwara Anugrahadeva Pumsam Advaita Vasana. And then, but one has to work on it. Otherwise, we'll be violating the law. Law of what? The law which is taking us through, all through. It's all law. Karma is also a law. All sciences, we are studying physical laws. And this is a so-called spiritual law. That also is a law only. And so, even there, Bhagavan can't be partial. In fact, the definition of God must be impartiality. And so, that's how it works, Arunji.
So you make yourself worthy for the grace, additional grace. That's you.
That means you have to work on it. Correct.
Work on it. Correct. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Correct.
We
So
use the word grace to express, to refer to that which you get out of your own effort.
Correct.
Therefore, this Shastram really makes us extremely responsible. Correct? Very
Correct.
responsible for everything.
Correct.
I am responsible if I say.
Correct.
Then God cannot but watch you change. Correct?
Correct.
Even God cannot stop me from changing. Because here is a man who says, even though a lot of things are happening which I don't like in my life, still it's now time for me to just turn the whole envelope around, and I will take the time to do that. That's our approach, Arunji.
Makes sense, Guruji. Good that it's making sense to me. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. Meera Narayanan, go ahead.
Guruji, namaste. This nirvachya thought existence is as though we have seen earlier, no? This aham iti vijrumbate.
Okay?
So this aham seems to be, it's not referring to that existence which is it referring to the existence which is anantam, what you explained, because limitless, my nature. But this aham seems to be triggered by something. It is always when I say aham, it also seems to be that karana shariram which seems to be triggered by something external. It comes and goes. So how do I understand this? Because it says aham iti vijrumbate, it says for Atma. Now how do you understand that?
Yeah, so really then it comes and goes. What do you mean by that it? What are you referring to?
See, there is a spuranam when you are referring to aham, there is something which triggers that, right? Like I am angry. There is something which triggers. I am angry. I am emotional. There is that trigger. We are able to see that. So this is something which comes and goes, and it is mithya. Because I am able to see it. I am able to objectify it. Then why is Shastram referring it to aham vijrumbate? Because as far as I've understood today's and the previous Viveka Chudamanis, it's very clear that it cannot be nirvachaniyam. It is anantam. But then aham iti vijrumbate refers to what?
There, what did we say? In the shloka, what is that aham? Two kinds of aham. Okay? Now I am saying two kinds of aham. Okay? So what are the two kinds of aham? I am angry is one kind of aham. My mind is angry. My mind is emotional. And I say I am angry. Then there is another aham. Even when I don't say I am, that sentence itself is not there. Then also aham vijrumbati only. Without a vritti, it is there. Yeah. Without a vritti. One has a vritti mat aham. Another is vritti, one is vritti sahitaha aham. Another is vritti rahitaha aham. Vritti rahitaha aham is Atma. Vijrumbate. Shines. Always there. Ready. ready to manifest as a vritti or no vritti also. Deep sleep, no vritti. So that's a way to look at it. And because I don't know, not even I don't know, even a person who knows also can become angry. Why? Because the anger is a function of the mind, and those functions are all going on. Generally, we don't expect a jnani to be shouting at people and things like that, generally, because Karma Yoga has taken care of a lot of that. But that anger comes. Why it comes? Because it's a process. It's a process of the mind. What happens in the mind is anybody's guess. What triggers whom, what, everything is there. So then also that anger is there. But now the jnani does not relate with the anger like the way the other person relates to the anger. Other person has become a victim of the anger. But the wise person should know, I am not what is going on in my head. That clarity is there. Good.
So even without this direct knowledge, paroksha jnanam, also in the process of studies, we are able to do that, right?
In the process of what? Sorry?
In the process of studying the Shastram, even if whatever Akhanda, Karavritti and all, we are not able to relate to that, but we are able to see this Aham and understand that you don't have to react to that. So I am I'm just thinking in terms of growing clarity. So knowing.
So emotional maturity. So emotional maturity can happen even without Shastram.
Yeah.
Without exposure to Shastram, people do know. Many people do know the importance of emotional maturity. In companies now they talk about emotional EQ, I think. Some intelligence.
Emotional quotient or something.
Emotional quotient, EQ.
EQ now. IQ has now become EQ.
Emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence, they say. We say
emotional quotient. That was
EQ, EI. They use both these words, but referring to the same thing. Quotient is a number, maybe. Intelligence is talking. Okay. That is what we say Chitta Shuddhi. Chitta Shuddhi is more than EI. EQ, EI is only with respect to that Vyavaharika transactions. But here we are going to connect it to my own Viveka. Atmanatma Viveka is involved in Chitta Shuddhi.
Spiritual quotient.
You are welcome to use it. Because in your hospital, Mohini ji is a doctor. Yeah. In your hospital, if she is lecturing, she can't use all these Ishwararpana Buddhi words and all that. So what should she do? She has to come up with all these words. Spiritual quotient. Okay. So we place a lot of value for this emotional intelligence. EQ is critical. Karma Yoga, that's what Karma Yoga, but emotional intelligence Ishvara need not be a part of that process. But for us, Karma Yoga, Swamiji would say, there is no secular Karma Yoga. Then you are bringing all this God and all that. Can you take God out of this Bhagavad Gita and then teach me Bhagavad Gita? That would be nice, no? So that I can take it to my offices and I can become a corporate, they use a word for it. Yeah. Most wanted in the corporate world. Speaker. There are some speakers like that. Some Vedanta teachers they've become very famous in the corporate world.
Motivational teachers. Motivational teachers.
Motivational speakers and all are there. But that's it. Just tell me, motivate me and go away. Don't bring me your Bhagavad Gita and all that. Correct? Don't bring me all the Upanishad and all. But for us, this emotional intelligence is important. It is a part of my growth process. It is a purpose why I am born as a human being. We can bring all these things. That is the purpose. Now is the time I can work on it. If I leave this chance, then what happens? And so, then I will connect it all the way to moksha. So it's a beautiful journey. That's why this study, that is why I think Krishna also says this study is never wasted. Partha naiveha namutra vinashastasya vidyate. Vinashaha na vidyate. Arjuna is wondering, suppose I do all these classes, suddenly I die in an accident. Or I die in war. What happens? Like that he's asking. Krishna says, not even one iota of what you did will be wasted. Anyway, that is that.
So nowadays, Guruji, lot of speakers, as Mohiniji said, motivational speakers, they are even talking to kids and all that, and they say you have an emotional side, you have an instinctual side, you should be on a responsive side. You have to distance the emotion from yourself. But this, I was trying to connect it with the understanding of, because to a great extent, many of them will be able to do it if they practice it. But further, I was thinking, if it is not on the lines of Shastram and Ishvara, there is a possibility of purpose behind it. Somewhere the person will question, like, that that purpose is lost. So that's why I was trying to.
Purpose is not there. Then why am I born? If somebody asks, then without Shastram you cannot answer the question.
Yeah.
Without Shastram you cannot answer this question at all. And okay, so other Shastrams are there. Abrahamic religions, they have their own idea. And they're all very bacha ideas. And so, without our Veda, you can't answer the question. Not possible. If Christianity cannot even explain child prodigy, explain why child prodigy is there. Or explain why a child is born and within 2-3 years she gets leukemia and passes away. And the mother is asking the question, why my child? What did she do? Why should she die? Take away my life. Why you took away my daughter's life? Like that she will argue. How do you explain? How do you... Struggling mother. She is just suffocating. How do you explain? How do you convince her? Nothing can convince her. Thank God we have karma. Thank God we have karma. So that person knows something is there. Some talayithu is there. And therefore something happened. Thank God it is there. Otherwise we will just go insane. Insanity is just waiting. So karma makes us responsible. Karma makes us sane also. Responsible and sane. Because of that I have to be responsible. Because I created my own karma. Therefore I have to be responsible. So it's beautiful. I feel it's all falling in place. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalasha Hastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.